On this episode of the Massive Agent Podcast, we're sitting down with Trish Leto to talk about Facebook Live, how doing 5-minute Facebook Lives can completely transform your business and start growing your brand and your brand recognition at a local level like you've never seen before.
The Massive Agent Podcast, with lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 77 of the Massive Agent Podcast. Welcome. If you are new to the show, if this is your first episode, my name is Dustin Brohm, your host. I am a real estate agent in Salt Lake City, Utah with eXp Realty. I'm a national speaker, trainer, and real estate marketing coach. I also host a podcast and video show called Industry Connected. You can see it live every Friday afternoon on the Industry Syndicate Facebook page or the podcast wherever fine podcasts are sold. Wherever you're listening to this one, you can also find Industry Connected. I'm also the co-founder of the Industry Syndicate, which is real estate's very first media network, and the founder of the Massive Agent Society. That is our coaching program, Facebook ads, lead generation, copy and paste program for agents and loan officers. Congratulations to all of you guys who took advantage of our Choose Your Discount promo that we ran this last week. It expired. If you're listening to this on Thursday, the 13th, you have until midnight tonight to take advantage of that. I outlined that at the end of last week's show, episode 76. But basically, if you guys are on the fence about becoming Massive Agent Society members at any level, monthly, annual, lifetime, doesn't matter, you can choose your discount. You just have to reach out, ask for it, and if it's reasonable, I'll grant it. So you have a few more hours, and then the promo is over. All right. And if you want to know more about the society and how that works and if that would be a good fit for you, go to massiveagentsociety.com. So I have a pretty cool announcement to start the show. I just found out about this about 30 minutes ago. I got an email from Inman News, and this is crazy. The Massive Agent Podcast has been selected as one of the finalists. We've been nominated as a finalist for the Inman Innovator of the Year Award in the podcast category. Like crazy. Super honored. Thank you guys for listening and making this a possibility. I feel very flattered. I feel very honored right now and just super excited to be mentioned among the other great shows. What's super cool is 2 of the other shows on there are our Industry Syndicate shows. So the Industry Syndicate has 3 of the 7, I believe, 3 of the 7 nominated shows for most innovative podcast by Inman. So you can check out, let's see, I'll create a link for this, massiveagentpodcast.com/innovator, massiveagentpodcast.com/innovator. And you can check this out on the Inman site, and the other shows too. Like these other podcasts that are nominated, go check them out. There's some really good stuff. But just super honored and wanted to share that. Just got the email 30 minutes ago. So woo, awesome. All right. Today's show is super tactical and a very interesting perspective on how to do a Facebook Live consistently over time to grow your brand, to grow your business locally. And we have one of the best experts on the planet, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinions, on doing Facebook Lives 5 minutes at a time. Trish Leto is the host of the Expert Connection podcast. It's amazing because she and her show are actually members of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. And I've known her. I met her at Agent 2021, actually. It was funny. I remember actually meeting her the first time because she has such amazing energy, and she's like, "Hey," I think she was like, "What's up, bro?" or something like that. And it's hard to forget a woman that's like, "What's up, bro?" And it was the night before Agent 2021. They were having like a mix and mingle get together thing. And I met her there, and I was like, wow, amazing energy. I like her. And then I saw her speak the next day at Agent 2021, and she was talking about Facebook Live, and specifically how to do it in 5-minute chunks and how to leverage that to grow your brand. And I was like, damn, like she's so right. And the way she presented it, I'm like, the real estate industry needs this. So we've got her on the show today. Super excited, super lucky to have her on. I promise you, you will learn something today, whether you've been doing Facebook Live regularly for a long time or you've never done a Facebook Live ever. You will learn something today that you can go implement right away and start seeing some amazing results. So let's get into the interview with Trish Leto of the Expert Connection and the founder of 5 Minute Lives. Check it out. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm sitting here with Trish Leto, absolutely amazing rock star in the marketing space, in the real estate industry, in the mortgage industry, basically in social media land. And she is she hosts the Expert Connection, which is, as I'm proud to say, an Industry Syndicate show. She's one of our amazing hosts. And she's also the founder of 5 Minute Lives. And she's here today to talk about how she's built a whole business helping other people build businesses on doing just 5-minute Facebook Lives. Just get on Facebook Live for 5 minutes, and she'll tell you how you can crush it by doing 5-minute lives. Trish, welcome to the Massive Agent Podcast.
Oh, this is exciting. I feel like I feel like an adult now that Dustin Brohm's like, Trish, I want you on the Massive Agent Podcast. Like, what? And we're speaking together in like a month. I'm so excited right now.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's awesome.
It is awesome. Yeah, so thanks for having me, buddy. I appreciate it. You're
very welcome. You're very welcome. Ever since we met at Agent 2021, which we both spoke at, which was awesome. I saw you on stage because you were in the mortgage track and you were earlier in the day than I was, and I loved your energy. And you just had some really, really good tactical shit to share that I'm like, Trish is amazing. So you've since joined the Industry Syndicate. You've been one of our awesome shows, kind of holding that down. And now, like I see that you're syndicated on like all sorts of freaking websites and media organizations. You've blown up, as you should. So Trish, real quick, 60 seconds, bring us all up to speed on who you are and how you got started and kind of what you do today.
Okay, I could do this in a minute or less, I feel like. So I'm the founder of 5 Minute Lives. It's a simple yet effective strategy. And what it does is I'm teaching service-based industries, okay? So real estate agents, mortgage, chiropractors, doctors, lawyers, coaches, consultants, authors, everybody who's got like a service-based business and it's not just product-based. I'm teaching them how to use 5 minutes of live video to get the attention of their ideal audience. And I teach them exactly how to do it, how to locate and create content that matters. Put it out there in 5-minute chunks of consumable content and then repurpose it all over the internet so that your name, your brand is out there. You've got brand credibility and recognition, and you leverage yourself as the go-to expert within your industry and your community. And so I do that. I speak to it. I do virtual trainings. I do on-site trainings. And I'm speaking. I've done the thing, and I'm getting all kinds of different companies and event coordinators reaching out to me and asking me to speak. So it's been one hell of a journey, but I quit my 9-to-5 3 months ago and went all in, and it's been crazy awesome ever since.
Love it. And I love that you're not just speaking to realtors, you're not just speaking to loan officers. Guys, this is marketing. Mm-hmm. Marketing stuff, even though we give specific examples of how to use it in your real estate business, the principles that you learn on this show and that you're about to learn from Trish will help you no matter what you do. Like you could go start an ice cream shop and the exact same skill set that made you an amazing marketer in real estate will help you be successful marketing that ice cream shop. So Trish has kind of taken that to the masses, mm-hmm. and you've had a ton of success. So congratulations on that. That's super cool.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah. So my whole mission right now is to give people the clarity that I so desperately needed myself 3 years ago. Really and truly, it's been almost 5 years now that I've been kind of playing around in the marketing space and, mess around on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I mean, I was playing around on MySpace back in the day, and even Friendster, like when it all first started happening and I didn't know what I was doing, right? Just like most people don't know what they're doing. And you kind of chase a rabbit hole on YouTube and you watch Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and all of these people. But if you don't actually implement those things, nothing's going to happen, right? So a big piece of what I teach is say, okay, do this part first and then implement it. and then do the second part and then implement, and just so learning and then implementing, learning and then taking massive action, right? Is that's the only way it's going to happen. So, and when I tell you, Dustin, I have failed forward big time. I have failed miserably at so many things to figure this all out. So what I'm doing is taking all of that information and putting it out there on a silver platter and going, here is your business in a box. This is everything that you need to do, and you can start making money like right now.
I love that. Yes. And it something that I see, because I'm a coach, I help real estate agents and loan officers with marketing and Facebook ads and stuff. One of the biggest things that prevents people from getting to that level of success they want is the lack of implementation. And a lot of it is just analysis by paralysis by analysis. I know what that's like. Yep. When I first started blogging, when I very first started getting into content marketing, I was going to launch a website and just start blogging. And then I started learning about this thing called SEO. It was the most intimidating thing ever, because I'm like, how could I ever wrap my head around this? And I almost quit. Like, I almost just said, screw it. But then I broke it down to bite-sized chunks, like accomplish this, then do this. And that's what helped me move forward. And I feel like anyone who's going to do something they haven't done before, that's the only way to be successful. You can't just take the whole thing and be like, I'm going to do all of this. They've got to like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You got to break it down. So I love that you do that. How do you do that? Let's break it down right now. How can agents, how can loan officers, how can chiropractors or whoever start building their business at a local level with 5-minute Facebook Lives?
So the very first thing we have to remember is, just like you said, Dustin, it's not, we talk about SEO. Well, what is SEO? Search engine optimization. Well, how do you get that search engine optimization to happen? You do it by getting consistent content out there onto the internet, so that every time somebody looks something up that's relevant to your niche or your industry, that they find you. They find words or groupings of words that are immediately associated with you. And the fastest and easiest way that you can do that and incorporate that into a 5-minute live is to go to a website called answerthepublic.com. If you go to answerthepublic.com and you pop in a few terms, like I said, word or groupings of words, and you hit search on there, what will happen within literally seconds of time, you'll get an entire huge circle with all of these questions that people are asking that are relevant to your industry, like every single day on the internet, like right now, like right now, right here, right now. So I actually did this on a Facebook Live the other day, and I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. But I titled it "How to Get Free Leads on Social Media," because that's one of the questions that people are asking with regard to live video, Facebook Live, right? So I used Answer the Public and put in Facebook Live, or I go into Answer the Public and I type in, not real estate, obviously, I would put in home buying, right? Just home buying. And then you would be surprised, there was like over 500 plus questions. Like, that's over a year's worth of 365 days in a year. I think the biggest issue that most real estate agents and mortgage professionals and all sorts of service-based brick and mortar businesses in local communities, what they have a problem with is, I don't know what to talk about. Well, I'm telling you exactly where to go and where to find that. Once you have those questions out there, you can take them, download it for free onto a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet, okay? And then you go into that and you go, cool. Now I know exactly what to, I don't even want you to change the title. I want you to do a live video and title it whatever people are asking with regard to home buying, right? What loan programs do I qualify for? That was literally a question that I saw. What loan programs do I qualify for? So I want you to do a Facebook Live for 5 minutes and go press live. As soon as you get that title and description in there, press live on your phone or on your computer and start talking to the camera. Immediately start talking to the camera and say, hey, everybody, and I'm going to give you an example using my name. Hey, everybody, what's going on? My name is Trish Leto. Today I want to talk to you about what loan programs you qualify for, because I know that there's a lot of confusion out there in the industry, whether you should be going for a conventional loan, a VA loan, what is a USDA loan? Do you qualify for a VA loan? So let's talk about this for just a minute, and I'm going to dive into this for about 2 to 3 minutes. As you pop in, make sure you ask me any questions. Make sure that you push this out to other people who could use it, because we can't say comment, we can't say tag a friend, and we can't say share this out anymore. Like Facebook doesn't want us to say that anymore, right? So if you avoid using those terms, you can still do the live and you can still crush it, okay? So go live and open it up with those first 30 seconds and just say, tell everybody who you are, what you're going to talk about, why you're going to talk about it, and how they can get in contact with you, which is simple. Go to your website or, dial the phone number in the description. If you want to put your phone number in there, they can hop on a call with you and learn more about what you can do for them, right? And then dive into it for 2 to 3 minutes. If you're like going, oh God, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, I don't want to rattle on, then write down 3 little bullet points on a sticky note. That's it. 3 bullet points on a sticky note. And then after the 3 minutes is up, look at your phone again and start scrolling up and saying hello to people, because you're going to get people that are going to pop in. They might even ask some questions. So cover a 1-minute Q&A, real quick 1-minute Q&A, say hello to people. And then the last 30 seconds, you just say, hey, everybody, thank you so much for popping in today. I appreciate you. Listen, I'm going to be wrapping this up right now, but I'll be live tomorrow talking about, and then you can tell them what else you're going to talk about how to get a loan, even if you have a bad credit score, right? And then tell them, hey, don't forget to reach out to me if you have any questions. My phone number is, or go to my website, blah, 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 blah. If you want a free home buyer's guide to da-da-da-da-da, then you can have that there too. And that's it. And then you're done. And then you download your Facebook Live onto your computer as an MP4. And now you can go on to say anchor.fm for free, and you can put it onto the podcast. You don't even have to strip the audio. You can literally just upload the MP4 directly onto anchor.fm. And now you can podcast it out. And if you podcast it out on anchor.fm, it will also automatically go to 9 other outlets.
Right.
So now you're just getting consistent content out there. Then you upload it to YouTube. Then you upload it to LinkedIn. So if you follow the 5-minute live strategy, but you go over 5 minutes and you still stay under 10, you can repurpose the entire video onto LinkedIn, onto IGTV, and you're getting your content out there. And you just do it over and over and over again. And that's it. That is literally it. And you need to grow your list. Make sure you have like some kind of an email list link on there too, and start just growing your list. And that's really it.
So I'm sure that people can win if they just try it 3 or 4 times, right? Like if they just do 3 or 4, they're going to sell 100 homes this year, right? It's just about trying, dabbling.
If they believe that, then this is not the podcast episode for them.
Exactly. No, I love how tactical and how like you're not overthinking it, and also because I know people get hung up on those details. Like, well, what do I put for my description? Like, what do I type? Well, whatever the topic is, like, don't overthink it, because you can always edit it afterwards. Just put something. But how about some tips for getting attention with the headline to get people interested in watching it in the first place?
So, okay, a few tips. First of all, you already know what you're going to cover during that Facebook Live. So the very first tip I'm going to give you is to give your audience a heads up, and maybe put a post out there on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever and say, hey, if I did a Facebook Live talking about making sure you're crystal clear on different loan programs available to you right now, would you be able to watch it? I'm going to go live at 9 p.m. Eastern or 8:30 p.m. Eastern or whatever, right? And then give them like make it a yes or no question and say, would you be interested in watching that, yes or no? And let them answer you, right? So now you can actually reach out to those people and go, awesome, I'm going to be live at this time. So then you can go to your business page, your Facebook business page. You can actually schedule your Facebook Live ahead of time. So now you can take your scheduled live video and you can send them the link and say, hey, make sure that you get your reminder for when I'm live about this, right? So now you get even more attention on it.
Yeah. Yep. So I've used Zoom for that, for scheduling your live in advance. I've used BeLive. I know there's some other tools out there that do it, but that's when you get those, like on the Facebook post where you can click to get notified when somebody's live.
Yep.
That's how you do it, is by scheduling it with a third party program like Zoom or Be Live. And yeah, then you're kind of like saying, hey, I'm going live in 4 hours. I'm going live in 90 minutes. Here's your reminder. Click here to get notified when I do.
100%. Absolutely. Exactly. I mean, so you get the notifications, you get, and then like I said, you could always just, you can use stories. And let's say you've got an awesome Instagram account and you've got 10,000 followers or more, then you can actually incorporate that into your story with the swipe up. And if they swipe up, then they can go directly to the link to join your email list. And you can have an email list established for every time you go Facebook Live that people can see it.
I love it. So What does your system look like? Which tools, which third-party platforms do you use for this?
So currently I am using, I use ClickFunnels for some of my stuff. And I actually have an incredible business partner. He does like all of my SEO stuff and he's building out, I'm hoping to go live with it by tomorrow, my new website. But I'm going to have my WordPress website done. And my buddy Dan Kurtz my business partner. Dan Kurtz is the guy that's building that out for me. So we use that in connection with ActiveCampaign. That's my email automation system. I love ActiveCampaign. It's very user friendly. And then I use Calendly and Acuity. I primarily use only Acuity now. Acuity is awesome because I can add a payment. I can add a payment integration system in there. So if somebody wants to schedule a 1 hour strategy call with me, that they can pay for that, and then I hop on a call with them, and it's great. Or I could put a coupon code in there too, and maybe do it for complimentary. Say I go to a speaking engagement and I say, hey, listen, if you use this promo code, then you get a complimentary call, or you take 50% off my course or my group coaching program or whatever, right? So I like to use that. And then that's pretty much it, Dustin. Like, I really do keep it pretty darn simple. I use live video to bring people into my world. I offer complimentary first-time people 30-minute strategy calls. And then from there, I also have a 5-minute live 7-day challenge, which is basically a course. And right now that's $97. And then we are in the process of launching a membership site. So that's going to be a monthly membership program. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But that's it. That's all I use. I use a calendar. I use email. I use my website. Like that's it.
I love it. And the average agent that's just trying to get more people into their funnel or create some more engagement, you don't need those tools. You should be sending someone to your website. You should be sending people somewhere to get more information. And what I love about doing just the 5-minute live, and where it's not all it's not all the meat and potatoes. Some of it's intro, some of it's Q&A, what I love about that is you're fighting this urge to give all the information in the video. I mean, I struggle with this. I want to dive deep. I want to give context. I just want to tell it all. And then you might have a 10, 15-minute video. But if you just give people information so that now because usually they don't know what they don't know. So if you let them know what they don't know, then they're going to have more questions. And if they do, then now they're more incentivized to reach out to you rather than you vomiting for 15 minutes on a video or longer. And I've done it. I'm guilty of that just like anyone. But sometimes you're actually making it so people don't have a need to reach out to you or don't want to because you talk too much.
Right. And that's me. This whole thing started because back in I think it was January of 2016 is when I started, that's when I got the Facebook Live button on my phone. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start using this because I was actually I was doing direct sales, multi-level marketing with a health and fitness program and selling the shakes. I was selling the shakes, Dustin. I admit it. I'm okay with it.
Shakes are cool. The juice, I can't forgive the juice. Can't do it. Have you ever tried, I think they're all the same, but Kyani?
No, I've never. No, I drink kombucha now that I get at my grocery store on BOGO, and that's like my new favorite thing on the planet.
Kombucha's pretty good. Yeah, I like the GT's trilogy stuff.
Yeah.
That's
No.
good
Oh
stuff.
my God, it's so funny.
Yeah, but I remember. Let's see. Here's the excuse me. Here's the squirrel for the episode where I go off into another tangent. That's just who I am. I remember my wife was pregnant with our first kid, and she's looking for prenatals and all this stuff. And one of her friends was a Kyani rep, and she's like, "Hey, you got to try this juice because who needs multivitamins if you have this freaking magic juice?" And she's like, "Okay," and tries. It's like $50 for a goddamn bottle, and she tries it once. She's like, "Nope, can't do it." And then I tried it, and I lasted a week. It tasted like poo and garbage, and vomit mixed with some berries, all into a juice. It's fantastic. And so I can't even.
Mixed with berries, all in a juice.
And garbage. Don't forget that. Yeah.
And garbage.
Yes. Blended well, I might add. It was a very smooth mixture, but it's still there in the dark recesses of my mind. So yeah, I have no, can't do the juices. So anyways, the shake. So you were doing.
Oh my God, dude, I'm telling you. Yes, I was selling the shakes. And when I say I was selling the shakes, I wasn't selling the shakes because I didn't know how to do it right. Like I wasn't doing it right. Yeah. It was horrible. I was using it, and I actually had lost a little over 70 pounds after I had my daughter. And then, oh God, she's going to be 5 in August. So, and then 10 months, my daughter was 10 months old. We found out I was pregnant with my son. So that kind of went right down the tubes. Anyway, wow. 2 kids. Yeah. Two Damn. Kids in 2 years on a late 30s female body is not easy to get through. So, but yeah, that was what kind of got me, full side note. That's what kind of got me into wanting to learn it better is my point. So Facebook Live came about, and I wanted to do it better. I got onto YouTube. I started to learn, and I was learning from Gary Vee and Russell Brunson and Grant Cardone and Amy Porterfield and Lewis Howes and all the big wigs that were doing this thing. And what happened was, as we talked about earlier, I was learning, but I wasn't implementing anything. Right. So I went into learning mode, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And then I saw some of these other people that were just crushing it, or at least they were, I thought that they were crushing it. And I'd reached out to them and go, oh my God, well, how, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And then, somebody would say, yeah, man, I'm implementing Russell Brunson's blah, 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 or Gary Vee's, garage flipping, blah, blah, blah. And they were making $5 to $10 a month. And I'm like, that's amazing, right? And then you could see they were, proof was there, right? They were paying off cars, they were doing this, I'm like, this is awesome. So I started reaching out to them going, can I interview you on a Facebook Live and kind of learn from you? And they're like, cool, yeah, let's do that. Because it wasn't a thing yet. So I'm just going to throw this out there, and people can be like, she's so full of crap. I'm an original gangster of interviewing people on Facebook Live. I just want to throw that out there. Totally. I'm an OG.
Who am I to dispute that? Right. I can't dispute it.
No, I mean, come on. I'm just saying. But I was definitely one of the first people to do it. But we would go live forever. And the reason why I'm telling this whole story is because we'd go live forever. And then when I go live by myself, I would ramble and ramble and ramble. I would do business shout outs, and people would love that. But I'd also ramble. And I'd see other people doing it too. And I remember going, there's got to be an easier way to get this, get our messages across, in a shorter amount of time, because nobody's paying attention for that long anymore. And that's where I sat down literally with a sticky notepad, and I was like, okay, 5 minutes, that's going to be the thing. 5-minute gauge, I can do this. And I broke it down. I just wrote it down. I was like, okay, 30-second intro, 2 to 3 minute topic, 1 minute Q&A, saying hello to everyone, 30-second close with a call to action. Cool. And I wrote it down, and I just started doing it. And then people are like, and I started calling it 5-minute lives with Trish Leto, tech tip with Trish, 5-minute live, 5-minute live, 5-minute live. And then it took off like wildfire. And in early November of last year, I went to speak at a mastermind in Milwaukee. And that's where I met my business coach, Chad Thibodeau. And he goes, because I did my whole presentation, and a portion of it was 5-minute lives. And I got off the stage, and he's like, your whole presentation is 5-minute lives. And I was like, yeah, no, I talked about that. He's like, no, your whole pending. That's why it's got the TM next to it. Trish Leto 5-minute lives. And that's where it all came from. And listen, I had a client that was a complete introvert. 2 weeks in, he made over $1,300 working with me. And then 2 weeks ago, he messaged me and he said he closed another like 14 grand.
Is that all?
I mean, yeah,
so
so it's like, so he's a service-based industry. He builds like WordPress sites and he does like voice search recognition too, like for Google.
Nice.
So like I work with all kinds, like I said, like I work with all kinds of different service-based businesses. It's not what you do, it's how you convey the message. That's all it is. That's literally it. And
Absolutely.
live video is where it's at. So make it happen.
I love that. I love it. And I love how you gave the tip for searching for what people are searching for, what questions people are asking, because that's part of it. I get asked all the time, hey, I want to do a podcast. I want to start a video show. I want to do more Instagram stories, but what the hell do I talk about? And people overthink that. So why don't you just go out and find out what people want to know and then create that content? And, it doesn't have to be this big 30-minute production. Just do 5 minutes. I love it. In fact, I need to start doing some more short ones structured the way you have it structured, because I think that would have a lot more, I think the benefits are there. If you're trying to reach people and get them to reach out to you, I see so much wisdom in doing the 5-minute thing. So how do you promote, give us some tips on how to promote your Facebook Live show? Because if you're doing it consistently, you basically have your own show. You can name it.
I do have my own show. Not only do I have my own show, but I highly recommend that people do have their own show. That's why I tell people, if you really want to get that content going, make sure you're using like answerthepublic.com. Like it's a no-brainer, and it's free. It's free to use that too. You can ask it up to 3 questions per day for free.
And I love the dude that's on the homepage there.
Oh my God, he's so fun, right? Like he's like, hello.
And I know I've been to that site before because I remember the guy. You guys have to go check out the guy. It's kind of creepy, but kind of cool at the same time. And, you'll never forget it.
And that's what I do. So and that's why, again, I'm gonna connect this with podcasting in just a second. But when Mark Zuckerberg did F8, which is like the big Facebook like new announcement, new release, and he did his keynote, part of the keynote, he talked about this. Chelsea Pites talked about this on a Facebook Live I think it was a little over a month ago, and she and I were going to go live together and kind of hash it out again. But he talked about the importance of community on Facebook, right? But if you're going to use live video, that they want it to be a show. They want you to be live for at least 3 minutes, which is why 5-minute lives is perfect, because it's a great guide, if nothing else, to go live for at least 5 minutes, no more than 10, right? And you get that show going, and that way, if let's say you go to Answer the Public and you get 5 or 6 questions, and those 5 or 6 questions are directly related to each other in maybe like a step-by-step process, right? So you could say, hey guys, I'm going to be live next week on my Facebook page, and I highly recommend that you do it from your business page, especially if you're like, my business page is dead, doesn't do anything. Well, if you don't post to it, it's not going to do anything for you. But if you post good content on it and show up regularly, you're going to get a following. People are going to know, like, and trust you. They're going to dig you. They're going to tune in. So grab like a step-by-step thing and say, hey, I'm going to be live next week, Monday through Friday, with 5 steps. The most important 5 steps for every home buyer to know before going to buy a home, right? Something like that. Something where you're answering the public, and you could break it down into 5-step thing. So now it's a show. So now it's like, hey, 1 week is going to be one topic you're going to cover. Another week could be talking about credit. Another week you could be reaching out to your local pool guy or landscaper or title company or appraiser and talk about all the things that people need to know about when they're getting their house inspected, or what to expect on an appraisal, how to read an appraisal, right? Because I think more homeowners knew how to read an appraisal, they would not feel so blind about like all of the specifications of their home. Right? So there's things like that you can do. So build that up and keep going live on your business page. Maybe have a messenger automation sequence set up, right? And that way when people go, again, you schedule it ahead of time, you put that link into your Facebook Messenger automation sequence, and then you can send a broadcast out to your Messenger subscribers, and they'll be like, oh, okay, cool, I want to watch that. And now you're more susceptible to getting that audience to pop on, and you could even get your video to go viral. Who knows, right? So that's like the biggest thing that I like to tell people to do is just put it into like some kind of a show strategy and a framework, and then follow up with everybody who's popped onto your show. Like follow up with them. Don't just say, hey, thanks for popping on, and then they never hear from you again, because that's not going to work.
Right.
So yeah, turn it into a show and do it in 5 minutes. And then when you're done, again, you upload that thing onto anchor.fm. So Facebook did their F8, and then Google just released theirs, saying that one of the things they're going to be doing is making podcasts searchable on Google.
Yep.
As a keyword identification. So when you start Googling stuff, you're going to, if the content that you put on Facebook Live that now you put onto your podcast, that's going to make you even more visible, even more looking as a go-to expert. So yeah.
That's such a big deal. Podcasting, again, I know I'm biased, but like there's a reason why we're doing the Industry Syndicate now, building the go-to place for real estate content, because podcasting is just getting started. And that's just the first iteration of it. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole because that could be a whole other show, and it will be. But you're right. These things are always changing. There's so many different ways to get in front of people, to get them to see your stuff. Launch your own show. I mean, what I found interesting is just by having your own show, like just by deeming yourself a show host and saying, hey, I have this show. And for me, it started with Salt Lake Insider when I was doing my local show, then the Massive Agent Podcast and Industry Connected. Just by being a show host, in so many people's eyes, now you have more credibility than you did before. You're a show host.
Yep.
A lot of people still see someone who hosts a show like, a show host from 20 years ago, like Alex Trebek or someone, It's very interesting. So it builds your credibility. It builds your resume. It's something cool to add onto your LinkedIn profile. And then if in your email signature, if LinkedIn, your Facebook profile, everywhere, it's not just real estate agent in Salt Lake City, it's host of the blah, blah, blah show. Now people, when they come across you, maybe they didn't even come across you through your show, but they find you some other way, they see you have a show, then they now know to go watch your show. And then they can start getting all the benefits of watching your show. It's unbelievable. You just have to not be a secret agent and let people know what you do everywhere. Simple as that.
Everywhere. And really participate in those conversation threads within Facebook groups and LinkedIn content. If you go to LinkedIn and you search like some keywords and you click on the word on the content drop down, you can see a whole thread of people having conversations about things that are relevant to what you got going on. And I mean, think about it, Dustin, between you and I, there's got to be, definitely a couple hundred of podcast interviews out there for service-based businesses, real estate agents, consultants, marketing professionals, some of the best in the industry that we've interviewed. If somebody is saying, hey, I've got a question on XYZ, then I can say, you know what? I literally interviewed somebody about that. Here's the link.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's it, right? Or that you could just give them the link to your website and go, hey, go to my website and click on podcasting or whatever, and they can get the answer right in there. Or, you could take your podcast, your Facebook Live, and transcribe it into a blog and say, hey, I wrote a blog about this. Here you go.
100%.
Yes.
When I'm asked how to promote something, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many ways, and we touched on a lot of them. You just gotta pick one, pick five, whatever, and do it. You don't have to do it all. Whenever I learn about some new strategy or some new tool that a social network comes out with, of course I want to do it all. I'm like, now I want to do that, and I want to do that. But doing that can cause you to do nothing. So pick the things that most resonate with you, that you think are going to be the most powerful to get the word out, and do those things. Once you have those being done, then add something else. Then add an additional way to promote. And then just keep doing it consistently. Trish, go ahead. And then I have a last question for you.
Yeah, no, I think so. For me, that's why when I say 5-minute lives, if you give yourself like 20 minutes of productivity, right? Like you put yourself in like just a mode, and you say, okay, I'm going to do my live video now, and I'll go live. And sometimes I'll go live for a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but whatever. I say, hey, okay, I'm going to go live, do my live video. As soon as I'm done, like typically, and when I do this and I put myself in productivity mode for 20 minutes, as soon as I'm done with my live video, I go to my stories, my Facebook stories, and then I download it directly onto my camera roll. And then from there, I will upload a 59-second clip onto Instagram. I don't even like go into InShot and add a frame or anything like that. I just pop it onto Instagram, and I do a 59-second clip, and I add a little bit of context to it and go, hey, in this video, I showed people how to upload content onto Pinterest, right? And then I'll post it onto Instagram. Well, as I'm posting it onto Instagram, at the same time, you've got, buttons on the bottom that you can link it to your Facebook business page. So now I've just hit 3 birds with 1 stone. I went live on my personal page. I put a 59-second clip onto my Instagram, and I linked it to my Facebook business page. And my call to action in my Instagram is, hey, check out my YouTube video. And I'll put my YouTube link to my YouTube channel on my Instagram handle. So now when people go onto my YouTube channel, they can go through and they can find more stuff that I've done, right? And it's like within 20 minutes, I've got content all over the place. And then I do one more quick thing, and then I upload that whole video onto LinkedIn because it's less than 10 minutes. So I upload it onto LinkedIn and go, here's what I'm talking about, boom, boom, boom. Sometimes I'll pop into iMovie and I'll add a little extra something. But if you do that for 20 minutes and then another day, take another 20 minutes and then upload that live video or the MP4 from the Facebook Live up onto Anchor.fm. And once you get it on Anchor.fm, you can upload that podcast video now or podcast audio to your website or to a blog, somebody else's blog, a guest blog, or onto your LinkedIn again. Because some people you're going to find, I found this to be true. I don't know if this is the same for you, Dustin, but I find that I've got people who are going to watch video, and then there's going to be another half of the people, my demographic, that's going to listen to my podcast instead.
100%. Yeah. My new show, Industry Connected, that's why I do the Facebook Live every Friday afternoon, and then I turn it into a podcast because I like to listen. I mean, I'll watch videos every now and then, but for like longer interviews and stuff where like I really want to dive in and get context, I don't want to watch it. I want to listen while I'm doing something else. So yeah, you can put it on all these different platforms. And Trish, I have something that maybe you didn't know about yet, but I love to automate some of these things that you do. So especially taking a Facebook Live video, putting it on YouTube, putting it on, turning it into a podcast episode, stuff like that. Go to massiveagentpodcast.com/repurpose. There's a tool called Repurpose that is amazing. It's
repurpose.io.
Yes, repurpose.io. I freaking love it. So whenever I finish an Industry Connected show on Friday afternoon, I go to Repurpose, and you can do this automatically, but I have it set up to manual so I can customize the description. But it takes the Facebook Live video. I mean, you select which one. Then you put in whatever description. You can send it over to YouTube. Boom. You can even add an intro to it. So you can add an intro. You can add an outro. And then you don't have to download the files, edit them, render them, re-upload. The Repurpose platform handles it. And if you use Libsyn for your podcast hosts, which, to be honest, I think is garbage. I think you should be using Buzzsprout, but Libsyn's the big one. If you use Libsyn, you can automate that too. So the Facebook Live, boom, automatically goes into a podcast episode automatically for less than $20 a month. I love it.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's so many different things. I actually my website guy, he's my business partner. He actually takes all of that stuff too, and he turns it into an automation syndication system. So he syndicates out to over 200 channels with one post. So it's like repurpose.io on steroids.
Well, that sounds well shit. Now I just feel inadequate. Like, I've got this repurpose thing.
There's so much you can do with this. And
sure.
He's actually been doing a ton of Facebook Lives for free. He's doing like 30 days of Facebook Lives, and he's been teaching like a lot of people how to do all of this stuff. So yeah, if you want to get connected with him, just let me know for sure, and I'll get you connected with him. But there's people out there in this marketing world, Dustin, that know how to do things that I've never even heard of before, and it's blowing my mind. And I just want to make sure that people understand that this is what they're capable of. But it all starts with content. You got to have the content out there first.
Absolutely. And not just one video here, one video there. It's not worth it, because whatever platform he does, I'm sure it's fairly complicated and not cheap, or at least to set up. And, like if you're just doing a video every now and then, what the hell's the point?
Yeah.
You've got to be doing it regularly, because then using a repurpose or whatever can save a lot of time, just in systemizing the whole thing. Because that's the key. That's having all that extra stuff, I think will hold some people back, because they're like, well, I have time to do a video, but I don't have time to download it, put it up on LinkedIn and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you can automate some of that, or at least speed it up. And then it's taking you, like you said, 20, 30 minutes versus 2 hours, which is a very big deal. Our time is extremely valuable. That's a lot of money on an hourly rate.
It really is. It really, really is. And that's why I tell, just like you said, pick 2 or 3 platforms. I pick 2 or 3 platforms, and then I email my list and I go, okay, new blog is up on my page, or whatever, like whatever I've done. And I have a VA, I have a virtual assistant that does some work for me too. So he's really good, and I appreciate him. But yeah, listen, I'm lazy, Dustin. I just want to go live and be done with it and be like, cool. I'm done. Yeah.
Job done. I went live. Now I can rest.
Yeah. Like, somebody pour me a glass of wine. I feel like I've done too much work.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of cool tools. So guys, if even this whole concept of doing the lives and then promoting it elsewhere, if that is hurting your brain a little bit, that's okay. Pace yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? Don't think that you have to jump to this platform that syndicates to 200 different places. Don't think you have to go to repurpose and learn that platform and do all that. You don't right now. Those are just tools to help you if you're trying to take it to the next level, systemize the process of repurposing the content that you're creating. Because guys, that repurposing thing, like, that's what Gary Vee does. Like, that's his main thing, is create one pillar piece of content, in this case a Facebook Live video, and then just chop it up, repurpose it on LinkedIn, YouTube, a Medium post, where podcast, all of that, break it up into chunks, put it on YouTube, Instagram stories, or Instagram and Instagram stories. You can do all that stuff. Just pace yourself, and please take action on at whatever level you're comfortable with. Don't overdo it, because you can always add more to it later. The important thing is that you get it launched, do the damn content. That's where you learn how to make it better. You'll never learn how to make it better if you're not actually doing it.
100%. And hire somebody. I mean, for the love of God, really and truly, there's plenty of people out there that are readily available to help you. Just if it gets to be like too much on your plate, if you got a ton of content, that content needs to be seen, you can be paid for it. So hire somebody, like, make that investment, make it happen.
Right. And I'll be a little bit transparent here. So since, I now have 3 shows, Trish, which when I say that, I sound like an idiot. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I'm a glutton for punishment. So I have Massive Agent Podcast, which is just a podcast, right? There's no video. Eventually in the future, I'll add some video. But then I do the Massive Agent Minute Flash Briefing.
Oh, God.
Which is every day. I mean, it's only 1 to 3 minutes every day. And then I do Industry Connected, which is a Friday afternoon live video. And then I turn it into a podcast and put it up on YouTube. So in order for me to free up some time to do that new show, to do Industry Connected, which I really, really wanted to do, to speak more to the mortgage side of the industry as well as agents, because we're one big industry with one consumer we're all going after the same person, same consumer. And so I wanted to reach out to have this whole industry connecting thing. I had to free up time. And so what I did with this show is I reached out, I put out some Facebook posts. Hey, I'm looking for like a digital marketing assistant. I didn't even know what to call it. Put that out there. I had a few people respond. I found an amazing woman who is helping me. So now when I finish my podcast episode, I send it to my editor, which I pay about $50 an episode. They add my intro to it. They cut down on any long silences, especially if I'm recording by myself, because a lot of times I'll lose my train of thought or whatever. So that they clean it up, and then they'll upload it to Buzzsprout, my host, for me, and they just email me and say, hey, it's up in Buzzsprout. Then once it's ready, I'll send that over to my new assistant, who takes it, creates some images, takes the show notes that I write. I make sure that I write those, but she turns it into a blog post, does some SEO stuff, gets all that teed up, which saves me a few hours every week. That savings right there, even though it costs me, let's see, $50 per episode for the editing, it's probably $80 for her help each week. So whatever that is, $130. That frees up that extra, 2 or 3 hours for me to do Industry Connected, which now allows me to do so much more and reach more people. So yes, it's a little bit of money out of pocket, but that's what you have to think about, is how can I free up more time to create more content and get it out there and reach more people? Usually you can do that for $100, a couple $100. Like we're not talking tens of thousands here, people.
Right.
So that's how I do it. And it's been a huge help. It's like an agent.
And it's quality. You pay for the quality too. Like
yeah, they do it better than me.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah.
I pay for people to do my branding stuff for me. I pay guys to do my website for me. They all do it way better than me. I stay in my lane. I do content. I do live video consulting. And I go live and I teach my face off.
It's smart. Especially for real estate agents. Because look, I get it. I've worn every single hat in my business up until this year.
I'm proud of you, man. I have to tell you that I'm really proud of you, because that's a hard pill to swallow and just say, okay, I'm going to hire people to do that. So kudos to you for taking that initiative.
Thank you. It's hard. It's like,
yeah, it is.
Because I like things done a certain way. And it's hard to find someone who can do it my way, but I just got to relinquish it and realize, wow, they just saved me 2 hours this week. And, with what I charge on an hourly rate, if I'm consulting, if I'm speaking, that's a lot. That's worth a lot more than the $40 an hour or the $50 an episode that I pay my assistant. So agents, just same thing applies with transaction coordinators. Of course you can do the paperwork yourself. But if you can pay someone a couple $100 that's taken out of the closing, why the hell wouldn't you do that? I mean, that saves so much time. Oh my
God, there you go. I mean, come on, let's face it. Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, the transaction coordinator for an agent is the first hire that they should make. And I don't care if you're doing one deal a month or 20, hire a transaction coordinator. It's just, that's what they do. You're hiring someone who specifically gathers documents, makes sure everything is done, that you have all the initials, all the dates, all in the right place. They send it over to the client. They facilitate uploading it to your brokerage or SkySlope or whatever you use, and that's their job. And so you don't have to worry about potentially missing an initial on a contract or something. They do it for you for, what, $200 to $300 per transaction that you pay out of your commission at closing? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to outsource something, and I'm telling you, it's such a freeing feeling, because you're like, wow, now I can do more. Now I can handle more, which is better than less. So
it is. I'm seriously, I think that's a really very valid, awesome point. I think that's perfect.
It's a game changer. And now then you're trying to figure out, what else can I outsource? What else can I get people to do? And so I'm working on that too. So then that'll allow me to do even more. Anyways, Trish, real quick, back to the Facebook Lives. Last question for you. What do you think is the biggest mistake that real estate agents are making with Facebook Lives? Ooh, stunner.
Yeah. Well,
you're like, there's so many. I'm trying to sift through here.
Oh, God. You know what? I think some of them are they're talking too much about real estate in general. I think that we need to broaden our topics a little bit more and start not just making it about them doing a Facebook Live by themselves, but reaching out to their collaborative partners. Think about everybody that's involved in a transaction, right? A home, whether you're buying or selling, your landscaper, your pool guy, your title guy, your roofer, your help me out here, Dustin. Where am I going with this? You're the inspector. Who else?
Yeah, the inspector. Well, I don't know. You've covered it. You've covered it. You did a pretty good job. But yeah, all those people. And then there's how about, where is the home? What is nearby the home? What parks? What restaurants?
Yes.
what bus stops or train stops or attractions or whatever are nearby. Start talking about the community.
Yep.
Be that local expert who also sprinkles in some helpful real estate education stuff. Mm-hmm. But my God, I think it's overdoing it with talking about real estate. Going live every time you have an open house. Like, I'm sorry, but you're training people to tune you out and turn off your live notification.
I would rather start seeing more real estate agents going to restaurants and, like you said, restaurants and parks and like live events and say, hey, you know, this is why you want to be living in this area of town, is because they're always doing arts festivals or food. There's food trucks out here. There's a live band. This place is awesome. This is why you want to live here, right? Or I don't know, maybe talk to a tax efficient, like a tax professional. What are some things about property taxes that you can write off? Or the entrepreneurs, right? How many people that are self-employed? What can you write off in your business that if you live in your home? Can you write off your entire mortgage for the year if you conduct certain things in your home? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I want to know about, and more people want to know about this. They don't know. And you don't know what you need to know until you need to know it, or until the right information is being conveyed by the professionals who call themselves experts out there, right? It's not just about buying and selling a home. It's about having people in your pipeline that, even if they're not looking to buy or sell, they recognize you as a person who's giving out this information and laying out incredible content. It's not just about you selling the thing. It's about you connecting with people who are going to connect you with who need you, right? So, and that's what it is for me. Every time I go live, I don't expect to sell something when I go Facebook Live. I expect to teach people something that they didn't realize, so that they share it out, tag a friend, do what they got to do, and that gets me connected. So there you have it.
I love it. Trish, amazing stuff today. Thank you. Every time we wrap up a show with a guest, we have some rapid fire questions that are kind of fun to help us get to know you and what's important to you or what isn't important to you. So are you ready for some rapid fire? I'm
ready, and I'm going to answer quickly, so I'm just going to go with it.
Well, let's see, that's the whole freaking point. It's rapid fire. So thank you. Yes, thank you in advance.
You're welcome.
Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Instagram or Snapchat?
Instagram.
Book or podcast?
Podcast.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Alexa or Google Home?
Alexa.
Burgers or pizza?
Ooh, pizza.
Nice. New York or LA?
New York, 100%. Oh my God.
And where do you live?
I live in Tampa, but I'm originally from New York.
Tampa?
Yeah.
Tampa? I love it.
Tampa.
Those are very different places, but I love it.
They are. Yeah. I moved down here when I was turning 12.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad moved down here and bought a restaurant and started a catering company, and I was 12 when I had my first job working in my dad's kitchen in the summer.
New York's the greatest. Like it's hard to beat New York, that's for sure.
I love it. I love it so much. I really do. I was just up there a couple weeks ago with a client at a book expo, and you can hear all about that on my podcast.
Love it. Which is called, of course, The Expert Connection, one of the shows of the Industry Syndicate. Thank you very much. Mountains or beach? Of course. Mountains or beach, Trish? Mountains or beach?
Oh, man. Beach.
Are we in a real estate bubble or no bubble?
No bubble.
Okay. Podcast or vlog?
Vlog.
YouTube or Facebook Live?
YouTube.
Well, you're the 5-minute lives girl. What the hell?
I know, but YouTube is Google's little sister, so
it's Google something.
It's better to rank. That's why I keep telling people to repurpose their Facebook Lives onto YouTube.
Interesting. I like it. I like it, and I like the context.
Yeah.
Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
Gary V or Grant Cardone?
Gary V!
Yeah. Woo! And then this is definitely the most crucial of them all. Jason Frazier or Dustin Brohm?
Oh man, you can hear the "d" coming off of me. Dustin Brohm.
I love it. I'm going to send this clip to him every day, every hour on the hour. See, you want to know something funny? We've all used.
You guys have like the ultimate freaking bromance. It's so fun.
Or what's the opposite of a bromance? Like a bro hate? It's that. Like, it's such a deep, intense hatred for each other because he's a terrible human being.
You are each other's nemesis. You are nemesis.
Right. Yes. No, he's a good cat. He's a good cat. But yeah, we have some fun with that. So you've all heard of Zapier, and
Yes.
Zapier is amazing. It can do so many things, just like if this then that. And so, so a while ago, what did I do? Fraser and I were setting up something in Trello for a project we were working on, and he kept adding shit to it, and I kept getting all these damn Trello notifications, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to use Zapier, and I created a Zap that every time something new is added to the Trello board, it texted him GFY. And so every time he added something new to the Trello board, he'd get a text message that just said GFY. And he's like, do you have anything to do with this? Like, why am I getting this GFY text? And it was probably the greatest thing I've ever done in my life with a computer. The GFY automation. You can use Zapier for anything. Anything.
You really can. It's wow. It's like, I actually do use, oh my God, that's the other, oh my God, I really do. I use a lot of things, all the things. I'm using all the things. And I use
now the wheels are turning, right? You're like, how can I automate some like funny shit?
I'm going to automate all kinds of funny shit. In fact, I'm sitting here right now. I made a really awesome connection at Agent 2021 with an agent, and I think she lives in, I want to say New Hampshire, maybe. Anyway, her name is Alicia Crastle, and she's awesome. But she sent me she calls herself the Mother Hustler. She sent me a card, and the front of the card is me. So Dustin, I call myself the unicorn breeder.
I do indeed.
And
yep,
so
it's hard to forget that.
For the people who are listening, I call myself the unicorn breeder because I take average entrepreneurs and turn them into magical beings who press live with purpose and increase revenue with 5-minute lives.
Right? Love it. Yes.
Yeah. So I bought this ridiculous, oversized unicorn float for my pool. And we busted it out. We got it all pumped up. I got in the pool a couple weeks ago with my kids. And my husband took a picture of me laying in my float with my son and my daughter with a drink in hand, all kinds of comfy. And Alicia, and I posted it on Facebook, Alicia took a picture of it. And she sent me a card as the cover photo with that. And she's like, just a unicorn breeder slaying the day. Love watching your journey. And I was like, that's amazing. I need to make that be one of the photos in my ManyChat automation. That's all I'm going to say.
You should. And now we, the massive agent audience, can hold you accountable for that. Like if we don't see it, you're gonna get it, Trish.
I am. I know. I suck. Damn it.
Trish, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell everyone where they can find out more about you, where they can connect with you, where they can get on your email list to get all of the amazing stuff that you send out. How can they find you?
So if you go to my website, trishleto.com, you can join my my mailing list. And I don't spam. I actually do, I send out stories and kind of tell you guys what's going on. And then I obviously make some offers because that's what I do. That's why I have an email list, right? You want to learn from me, you can. So I do offer a 5-minute live 7-day challenge. It's $97. So you can get into that as well, going to my website. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Trish Leto on LinkedIn, YouTube, Trish Leto, Facebook, Trish Leto. And on Instagram, I call myself _expert_connection_. And that's pretty much it. Anchor.fm, iTunes is where you can find my podcast, The Expert Connection.
Awesome. And we will have a link to all of that in the show notes at massiveagentpodcast.com. Once this episode's live, just go to massiveagentpodcast.com, click on episodes. You can get the show notes for this episode and all the previous ones, all the links we talk about, all the links to all the different tools and things that we talked about. So check it out. Trish, thanks again. And are you going to engage in Charlotte?
I am not. No. So I'm going to be, no, sorry. I'm attending a mastermind with my business coach the end of June. And then hold on. I got to think about this. In September, I will be in DC for the Military Influencer Conference. I will be speaking there. I will also be speaking at the Women Empowerment Conference in Biloxi, Mississippi a week later in mid-September. And then I will be attending the Vid Summit out in LA in October.
Sweet. That's a big one.
And yeah, mid-August, August 15th, me and my business partner we're going to be hosting a probably 2 or 3 day mastermind here in Tampa. It's going to be ridiculous.
That's
so
awesome.
I've got some really cool stuff coming up. Yep, really cool stuff coming up.
Love it. Yep, guys, definitely go follow Trish and definitely check out her podcast, her website, all of that good stuff. MassiveAgentPodcast.com to get links, or just listen to what she said and do that. You could do that too.
There you go.
Yeah. Trish, thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
You bet. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
I hope you guys took notes. I took notes. I mean, when I was editing the show, I'm sitting there taking notes as I'm listening to the interview again, because so much of what Trish talked about was so tactical and awesome. It helped me fill in a few missing pieces, because there's so many different ways you can use Facebook Live. Facebook Live is a tool, just like a podcast is a tool. Like, you could use it incorrectly, you could use it correctly. You could be doing it okay, but there's room for improvement. I think a lot of people are there. There's room for improvement, right? And so it filled in some missing pieces. Take action on this stuff, guys. If anything that Trish and I were talking about resonated with you, or sounds like something you want to implement into your marketing strategy, frickin' do it, please. I'm telling you, the more agents, the more loan officers, the more entrepreneurs in general that I talk to as I go to these conferences, as I do coaching, like all of this stuff, the more I realize that work is the variable. Work. Who's going to do it and who isn't? The vast majority of you guys won't, unfortunately, and it's really too bad. But guys, your lives, your careers could be so different in a positive way if you just started implementing the things that you want to do and then learning how to improve them along the way. Please stop letting this idea of, I got to make it perfect, or I have to learn these things first, or I need to, before I can launch it, I have to get these things in a row. That is backwards thinking. I understand it, but that's incorrect. You cannot learn to drive a car by reading a book. Oh, just hit the pop filter. You cannot learn without doing. Start doing the Facebook Lives and then improve. Please. That is how you learn. You cannot improve on something that doesn't exist. At the beginning of the show, I mentioned that the Choose Your Discount promo for the Society is ending tonight at midnight. Tonight being Thursday, June 13th. Basically, you choose the discount that you want on a Society membership. And if it's reasonable, if it's something that we can do, we'll do it. But you have to ask. You have to reach out and do it. Then we will create a custom checkout for you based on whatever deal we come to. There might be a counter offer in place. Congrats to you guys who did take me up on it. Some of you, I was like, yep, that makes sense. Let's do that. Others, we did a little counter offering, but as agents, you guys should expect a little counter, right? So all you have to do is ask, but it ends at midnight. But here's what's cool. Guys, you've heard me talk, especially at the end of last week's show. I'm a very proud agent at eXp Realty. I truly believe, and you guys know me now. If you've been listening to the show for any period of time, you kind of see my vision. You see what's important to me. You see how my brain works. I'm very transparent. Like, if you've met me in person, you know that, like, this is me. I get, the squirrels happen in person too. It's not just on a podcast, but I've really dug into making sure that eXp Realty is the right fit for me. Guys, after I joined, like, I was excited and everything. And I'm like, I can't believe all this stuff that now I have access to, and the additional income opportunities that eXp agents have. But I was still like, I don't know. And so I kept researching. I kept looking at other brokerages and other opportunities. And I'm like, is this really the one? I think one of the most powerful things you can do, if you really feel like you have some firm beliefs, these could be political, these could be spiritual, this could be an opinion you have on whatever. If you really feel set in that, you should be looking at the other side. You should be looking at the counter argument or the counter opinion, because if you really are solidified in this case, your brokerage as being the best place for you, then looking at what other brokerages offer will only help solidify how much you like where you're at, right? So that was part of the reason why I was like, I'm going to keep researching. I'm going to keep looking. I really feel like eXp Realty, for the vast majority of you, especially those who are tired of being on the hamster wheel, tired of every time you close a deal, you've got to start over from scratch at the beginning with another one and do it over and over and over and over. Even though we can make an extremely awesome living, we can make a great living as agents. There's no limit to the amount of income we can generate for ourselves and our businesses. But what happens if we stop doing the work that makes those deals happen? Right? So that right there is why I think eXp is a solution, not just a solution, but just an amazing platform for 9 out of 10 agents. I really do. Because we have the Massive Agent Society, the coaching program, I want to make sure that all of our eXp agents get the support that they need. I want to make sure that, if you're joining my team, so to speak, that you have all the resources available for you to sell a lot more homes, to build a much stronger business, and not have it cost you a bunch of extra money. So what I can do is, for all of my eXp agents, if you decide that, hey, I'm going to look into this eXp thing, and if you decide, hey, that's a good fit, actually, I'm going to go work with Dustin and the rest of the Massive Agent team, then you're going to get free lifetime membership to the Massive Agent Society. It's not going to cost you anything. And if you're a current member and you decide to make a switch to eXp, you're going to get it for free. So if I'm telling you, because I think at this point, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm at least going to give you my perspective. This is something you absolutely must see. And if you say no to it, that's cool, as long as you know what you're saying no to. As long as if you make up your mind that, hey, eXp is not the right fit, make sure you know all the information so you can say that with confidence. So many people say that because they've looked at 2 things, or they've heard one thing, or read one thing, or read a couple Facebook comments, or someone's like, oh, I left eXp after a month because it sucked. It's like, okay. No context of what happened there. So don't make up your mind based on anything other than the information. You can get that at massiveagentpodcast.com/EXP, or there's a different video that goes into even more detail, that I highly, highly recommend. It's newwaytogetpaid.com. Newwaytogetpaid.com. I love that URL because that's exactly what it is. It's a new way to get paid if you're a real estate agent, above and beyond just the traditional commission check, which is great. But what if you want to step away from the business? What if you want to build something long-term that you don't have to keep doing over and over and over and over, like a freaking hamster on the hamster wheel or treadmill or whatever it's called? So Massive Agent Society membership for free for all of our eXp team. I'd love to talk to you about that. I'd love to answer any questions you have. And even if it's ultimately not for you, it's worth exploring. I don't understand why people don't at least explore, because then they'll know. That's it. I just want you to know. All right, guys, check out our Alexa flash briefing, the Massive Agent Minute. All you have to do is say, Alexa, enable the Massive Agent Minute, and she will. And then we have a new episode every single day, 7 days a week, and it's an extension of this show. And if you have been listening to the flash briefing and have not yet left a rating or review, please do so. It helps us out so much. It helps us be found on the Alexa platform. And this show as well. If you've been listening to this show for any period of time and you've received any value, please, if you would, being that it is a free show, all we ask in advance, or all we ask in, what am I even trying to say? All that we ask from you is that you reciprocate a little bit and help us by giving us a rating or a review on iTunes, which is the most advantageous for us. iTunes, also known as Apple Podcasts, or share it. If you would share an episode from massiveagentpodcast.com or from Spotify or whatever, share it in a real estate agent Facebook group, share it one-on-one with a friend, text them a link, whatever. That helps us out more than you know, and we appreciate it more than you know. So thank you for those who have, and thank you for those who will do that. Guys, I am, let's see, when this comes out, I'm actually in Charlotte for the Housing Wire event. So I'm speaking today, Thursday. I'm speaking tomorrow, Friday, and then I'll be back home. Then I don't have anything on the books until Inman in late July. So I will be going to Inman Connect in Vegas. So if you are at the Housing Wire event, if you're at Housing Wire's Engage.marketing event, or if you are going to Inman, hit me up and let me know. We'll set up some sort of meetup or gathering or whatever for the Massive Agent crew. Would love to see you and meet you. Guys, have a great weekend. Please go implement what you've learned. Please, even if Facebook Live's not for you, but you've wanted to do, for example, a podcast or something, please go record your first episode. It has to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. It doesn't have to be 8 months from now. It could be today. Please implement, please take action, and then learn how to make it better along the way. Thanks, guys. This is Dustin Brohm with the Massive Agent. Wow, I almost did the Massive Agent minute sign off. That was weird. That was weird because I do that with the flash briefing. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Have a great weekend. Go sell some homes. Take care.